As we say here in Hawaii, I say aloha and good day, good afternoon, good evening to everyone joining us here live and on eTober News, our social media, and our many partner publications. Welcome to Ukraine. We're going to go halfway around the world from our perspective, at least. I know some of you are in the neighborhood. And we're going to be talking to a team of people from Ukraine put together by Ivan Liptuga, who I will give the microphone to guide us through the session. And this is going to be interesting because, as you know, Ukraine has some major challenges right now with what some people say is a Russian invasion. The United States has travel warnings against Ukraine. Not only that, the United States wanted citizens that are in Ukraine to leave. So it's a very tense situation. And of course, it's a challenge on top of everything else with COVID for Ukraine. But how's the situation on the reality? How do our friends in the travel and tourism industry feel at this time? And what do you predict could happen or not happen? So we're going to shed light on this. But I wanted to welcome everybody to the World Tourism Network session. For those of you that are not familiar with World Tourism Network, we are an organization, a very young organization. We started in March of 2020 under the Rebuilding Travel brand in Berlin at postponed ITB. And our discussion ever since was COVID. So a few hundred Zoom discussions and many events further. In December of 2020, we started the World Tourism Network, what is now a global organization with members in 128 countries, many different interest groups and chapters. And so we're on the move in hopefully being able to make a difference to the relaunch of the travel and tourism industry worldwide. Today, with us, I see a number of good friends and participants that have been essential for World Tourism Network. There's Alexandra, we just saw, whoever was in the beginning. She runs our Balkan chapter. She's in Montenegro. And of course, there's Dr. Taleb Rifai, who also just joined us from Jordan. And of course, Taleb doesn't need an introduction. Let me just mute people. He was the Secretary-General for UNWTO. So maybe what we could do is maybe just, since Taleb is there, what is an honor, let him maybe give Taleb like a word in the beginning to guide us in, and then we give the microphone to Ivan, who is in Kiev, not in Kiev, he is in Ukraine. He will tell us where he is. He's in a beautiful spot of Ukraine, actually. And he will guide us and introduce the rest of his session. So if that's okay, I'm going to put Taleb in the spotlight, and thank you for joining, and let you just say a few words before we go to Ukraine. Welcome, Taleb.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jürgen. Thank you. Even I welcome you here. Again, it's good to see you again. Our hearts are with Ukraine now. We are looking forward to hearing from you.
Well, there was an introduction, but I think we lost Taleb. So I'm sure he's going to come back and say a little bit more. But Ivan, why don't you unmute yourself, and I will put you in the spotlight here, and you can guide us through the rest of the discussion and also introduce your team. And if you wanted to put your co-host, so you can actually easily put your team in the spotlight if you like, you know them, just click on more and then click add spotlight to it, what will bring them in the picture. Otherwise, I can help you. If you just tell me the name clearly, then I will, I can do that from here too. Otherwise, it's alphabetically if you go under participants.
Yeah, if you help me to add,
sure.
It would be better.
But no problem. But you're in the spotlight, so the whole world is looking at you now. And tell us who you are and where you are and what we're doing today.
Yeah, I hope that Taleb will re-enter again and will continue his speech. Yes, he is here. Probably we let him finish the welcome speech, and then I continue to introduce our team.
Okay, so we're going to put Taleb back in the spotlight. There we go. Okay, we got you back. You need to unmute yourself only. Sorry.
I did unmute.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Ivan. Our hearts are with you in Ukraine. Ukraine is very dear to all of us. The news that's coming out of there is not very comforting to many people. We're looking forward to hear from you now on the situation, the real situation on the ground, because it's our duty to encourage people to go to Ukraine, in spite of everything. I would love to be in Ukraine now with you, standing next to you, Ivan. Ivan is a good man, and he will be doing his job the best possible way. Thank you so much, Ivan. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Rifai. It's a great honor that you joined this meeting today, and especially that you introduced me to Jürgen a few years ago in ITB Berlin. We worked pretty fruitfully during all these years, and my congratulations to all success of World Tourism Network. In recent years, you created a lot of information around the world about tourism. And what is important that World Tourism Network and eTurban News is always out of politics and bring honest news about any subject which is actual and important for our industry. So thanks again for inviting us today. We planned for a few months with Jürgen to organize such a meeting, and maybe it's the best time today because all politicians and all mass media around the world is talking about the war in Ukraine and the risk of the war, and we're here today to talk about the tourism. And I would like to introduce our team, our people from the economy, from tourism sector, from our regions of Ukraine, because I tried to bring most interesting representatives of our industry, and they will deliver for you the full picture of what is in reality happens here in economy of Ukraine in general, in our strategic vision of Ukraine in next at least 10 years, about tourism from point of view of real sector of tour operators, and also from different parts of Ukraine, because Ukraine is quite big country represented by western, eastern part, south are different geographical position. And today we have from all parts of Ukraine our representatives, except Julia from Kharkiv. She still didn't join the meeting, but I hope she will come until the end. So I would like to start introduction from Pavlo Sheremeta. Pavlo Sheremeta is a former Minister of Economy and Trade of Ukraine. He was the person who proposed to move tourism from culture and infrastructure to the Ministry of Economy. Minister of Economy was the right choice to put the sector of tourism on the governance in our country. And we worked in this ministry for 4 years. And Taleb Rifai remembers that period. He visited us 2 times in these 4 years, and also presented.
I remember very much.
Yeah, and presented the touristic brand of Ukraine in 2014, and then later visited the conference on destination management and destination marketing conference, where our organization, National Tourism Organization of Ukraine, were actually established during 2016. So Pavlo Sheremeta, I would like to give the floor first to you to give an overview about the economy situation and perspectives of Ukraine.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. It's evening in Ukraine, so good evening to those who are in this time zone. Otherwise, a good time of the day wherever you are. Well, I guess that's probably the first time I'm discussing the great tourist potential for the country, which some of our great Western partners believe that is about to be invaded. However, as always with Ukraine, all of us, and we in Ukraine, first of all, we know it. We have to take a long perspective, and you too. Because today it's this news. By the way, today was a nice weather in Kyiv, unseasonably warm, +8. It's probably even warmer in Odessa. I assume it's even warmer in the Ukrainian Crimea. I'm quite sure in that. In 1 month, the grass will become greener. In 1 more month, the trees will be blossoming. Whatever happens, basically, and this country will stand strong because it always did, and it always will. Yes, at the moment the times are challenging. But you don't feel it in Ukraine, actually. And it's not only the weather, from the weather perspective. In terms of economy, our government reported that we had the highest GDP during probably the history of Ukraine, definitely during the last 30 years. This GDP, by the way, is still can still be much higher. We all are working on that despite of all the news, and Ukrainian agriculture, Ukrainian metallurgy, Ukrainian energy, Ukrainian tourism, by the way, both international and domestic, and the Ukrainian IT industry are the ones that I would mention first of all. And I'm working hard, and last year was another great year of not only the agriculture harvest. It was a very good harvest, from what I understand, with the IT companies. I'm working closely, and I had a nice chat today with Lviv IT cluster. That's in the western of Ukraine, and obviously the IT company are working hard all around the world, including Ukraine. So the currency is doing well. The economic growth is there. Ukraine is bouncing back from this COVID slump that basically the whole world had. Well, I wish this bounce back would be even stronger. That's a discussion. Ivan knows that we have this discussion in Ukraine, how to make Ukraine even freer, more entrepreneurial, more innovative. It's a beautiful country, and and those are great people. And by the way, thank you very much for all of you, for all your support. We feel it, we appreciate it, we value it. We understand that we are not alone in this David against the Goliath fight. And by the way, David prevailed, and we know that we will prevail too with your support and with your prayers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pavlo.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you for this overview. It's true that we believe in the nearest future that this growth of GDP and warming will be in the economy and our position in the world. And it's thank of the global community that all countries now solidar in supporting us in this difficult times, more in information than in reality. Now I want to give the floor to Andriy Dligach. Andriy Dligach is our strategist, also economist, leading economist and futurologist. He was one of the strategic persons who created the national economic strategy, Ukrain 2030. And Andriy will add and give more information about the situation in Ukraine in economy of our country.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you, Pavlo. Yes, so we started for the elaboration of Ukrainian strategy, national economic strategy, with a statement that future Ukraine is an innovative country with a developed sectors such as hospitality sector, hospitality industry, and tourism sector. For sure, we saw that these sectors are underestimated in Ukraine. And we decided to make the core of Ukrainian national economic strategy as a creative industries, hospitality, innovations, and development of human capital. We found out that GDP per capita for every country around the world are very correlated with the travel tourism competitiveness index. So we decided to make a special part of the strategy, Ukrainian national economic strategy, as a strategy for tourism sector. In accordance with this strategy, we in Ukraine will enlarge number of hotels, restaurants, other objects for hospitality. Also will work on infrastructure, any kind of infrastructure, including gaming infrastructure. And the main idea is to make Ukraine suitable for the new waves of tourism, like leisure, like eco-tourism, like glamping, like tourism for gamers, including cyber gamers. By the way, Ukraine has a lot of hidden champions in different spheres. For example, Ukraine has approximately 20% of the world market of game dev concerning cyber games and digital games. The same with fintech, not only startups, but also banking sphere, in cryptocurrencies and other spheres. The same with developing of artificial intelligence, the same with other spheres like building of helicopters or making new ideas in materials, energetic spheres, and others. So Ukraine is like a hidden champion of future European economy, and the touristic sector and hospitality industry is one of the biggest part of this breakthrough for the future. Welcome to Ukraine, and also I'd like to tell thank you for your support, for your understanding, and for your interest to Ukraine. Thank you, Ivan.
Thank you, Andriy. Yeah, it's very important that our national economy strategy has this big part in tourism and hospitality sector. A few years ago, we developed a separate state strategy for tourism sector until 2026. We work in this direction. Last time, I think I gave you a brief presentation, Jürgen, here for members of WTN about our activities in standardization, in statistics, and so on. It's very important that government follow this strategy, and we from business, from real sector, we do a lot to consolidate all stakeholders and all parties, because tourism doesn't work by single companies. It works only when we are together and we move all in one direction. So the strategy in this is very important documents which have to be on the table of each level administrations, from the state until the local communities. Now I would like to give the floor to our association of incoming tour operators. This is the leading association. They unite more than 35 tour operators who are bringing foreign tourists to Ukraine. It's strongest companies in our country. They work only on inbound market and domestic tourism. I would like to introduce Maria Yukhnovets, who is the president of this association. Jürgen, if you could put Maria and also Natalia Soboleva, the vice president of association. Both of them are tour operators.
Can you please help me out? I'm sorry. We have two Marias. We have Marias with the top and one with an R.
Maria Yukhnovets.
I don't see. Maybe.
Okay, Natalia Soboleva, I see her definitely. Maria.
Okay, so
and Maria Yukhnovets.
And Maria.
Okay.
Let's go to.
You need to unmute yourself, Natalia.
Natalia, can you
I got
unmute
Natalia,
yourself?
yes, and I don't. We have several.
Maria in black. Maria, can you say something?
Yes, again? I'm here, Maria Yukhnovets. Yes, I'm in black, as one mentioned.
I can see that.
Oh, here, I see you now, Maria. Sorry. We have three Marias, so that makes it a little bit difficult.
It's a popular
Welcome
name.
all the Marias here. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Maria and Natalia, president and vice president of Association of Incoming Tour Operators. There are also other members joined the meeting. I see them. But Maria and Natalia will present from the point of view of companies who work with foreign groups all the time around the year. Maria, please, floor is yours with Natalia.
Yeah, good evening from Ukraine and good morning and good afternoon to all over the world. Yes, and from my side, on behalf of all my colleagues, thank you very much for this meeting today. Especially these days, it's important to give the message how is now in Ukraine, what is the situation. And I would like to start, first of all, with the most important questions for all our partners from all the world. Unfortunately, there is a decrease of tourism flow due to situation in Ukraine. As we say, international tourism has always been very sensitive to all that might happen in the world, whether it's pandemic or a political crisis in any destination. So the current situation between Ukraine and Russia has gained wide announcement in media all over the world. In this case, we hold the following position. We, of course, do not deny the fact of this political crisis between the countries and the fact of the aggression towards Ukraine, and of course, unfortunately, maybe the worsening of the situation. But our message is, at the moment, Ukraine on the governmental level provides all necessary conditions for the safe stay of all foreign nationalities in our country. According to the message of our government and wide pool of world's community, we do all that is possible to prevent the war scenario, to solve the situation with diplomacy, and we have unprecedented support of many countries. So flights mostly are not being canceled. All tourism infrastructure works as usual, and Ukraine is same beautiful and amazing country to see and to visit. With understanding and respect, of course, we accept the fact that unfortunately in some countries, due to governmental decision, Ukraine at the moment is not recommended as travel destination. But at the same time, we call for not too much passionate decisions making in cancellation trips to Ukraine, especially when we talk about upcoming late spring and summer season. Moreover, tour operators are maximum loyal and flexible in conditions that we are ready to provide to our partners to minimize those cancellations that we can get now, as I said, even to summer season. So, anyway, to sum up at this point, I would like to underline that we hope for a better, we're a peaceful country, and now we make everything that is possible to keep Ukraine safe and traveling to Ukraine safe, and it's open as always for all the world.
Thank you, Maria.
Natalia.
Great messages.
Natalia,
thank you.
Please unmute your microphone, please.
Yeah.
Yes, Natalia.
We are talking today about the tourism in Ukraine in the time of crisis. And I just like to add that our crisis started when the pandemic started. And it was really big crisis for the tourism to Ukraine, because we planned this 2020 is a very good year for mainly inbound tourism. It was growth of, it was increase in interest to Ukraine, and all of us were full of plans. And when it started, so the major target of everybody who work in tourism and to this industry was to keep all their recommendations and rules of World Health Organization and the Ministry of Health of Ukraine. So all the hotels and tour operators and other institutions that are involved in tourism business in Ukraine, all of them did their best to keep inside the organizations all the rules and keep the safety for tourists coming to Ukraine, starting on the borders, where only fully vaccinated people or people with 1 or 2 vaccines were allowed to come to Ukraine. And we still have it as one of our major targets. We use this time, Ukraine used this time to improve our tourism infrastructure, to build new roads, tour operators created new programs, some new hotels appeared, or existing hotels just improved and enlarged their number of rooms. We have lots of international hotel chains in Ukraine, and we have very good Ukrainian independent hotels or Ukrainian chains of hotels that did their best to provide the best level of services for tourists coming to Ukraine, both with business purpose or with leisure purpose. And I would like to say that we, despite the pandemic, we still have a lot of requests for the summer and autumn of this year. And as Maria said, we are very flexible. Everybody in Ukraine, in tourism industry, try to be very flexible to keep these requests as long as we have, as we can, providing very sensible and very reasonable allocation policy and so on so far. And I can't just not to say that Ukraine is a fantastic place for tourism. It's the country with a long history, with more than 7 places of UNESCO heritage, and all sorts of tourism are available in Ukraine, starting with heritage, starting with cultural and historical tours, rural traveling, business traveling, MICE, and so on and so far. And we have this in our heart, and we still believe, and we believe that this season will happen, and that all the Ukraine and our friends all over the world will do our best just for the best scenario.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Maria. Association of Incoming Tour Operators is, as I said, the strongest association represented by many companies, and NTO Ukraine works, cooperate closely with this association. We organize regular farm trips to different regions of Ukraine. We develop tourist products for different destinations in Ukraine, visit new destinations and create new products, and then promote them by presenting on our national stand on exhibitions, by making presentations. Unfortunately, last 2 years we did many presentations online, but if any of participants or viewers of this broadcast is interested in working with Ukraine, this association, we will put now in chat the list of contacts of all members, so you may write them, contact them, and they will give you the full information about tour products in our country. So now I would like to move to our representatives of regions and cities. our main city, destination number one in Ukraine, and most interested, of course, destination. It's Kyiv, the capital, our political, economical center and tourist center, which almost don't have any seasonality. All around the year, they have full of people coming for business, coming for leisure, coming for medical tourism and shopping tourism as well. And here with us, we have Marina Radova. Marina is the head of tourism department in the Kyiv city administration. Marina, thank you for joining us, and please give us information what is in Kyiv today.
Aloha to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's a good time to speak about tourism because, I joined all my colleagues, Maria, Natalia, you, and previous speakers, that we are a safe destination, that we are a hospitable destination. And of course, we understand that in the context of pandemic challenges, each destination competes for tourists. That's why for Kyiv, the main goal not to only come to Kyiv for the first time, but also want to come again and recommend our city to for the next trip to your relatives, to your friends. So that's why we are aimed at different types of tourism. We made such priority directions like medical tourism, gastro-tourism, events, MICE tourism, and we are trying to support these directions. And of course, the situation now which we face with the information policy about war, about aggression from the Russia, it's not so good for the inbound tourists. But we are hope that this year in exhibition UITT in the end of the March, we have almost more than 30 representatives from different countries. We can see that our countries, our partners can give us some opportunity to introduction their markets here, and we can make some cross promotion between our countries. So that's why I think that we should also make some border cross promotion between our diplomatic representatives, between our citizen sisters and our partners, that we are safe destination. Last year it was a good year for the pre-pandemic times, that we had 1 million inbound tourists. I think it's a good result because it's our common work with inbound association and different association. We promote
only to Kyiv, only to Kyiv.
Through different, only to Kyiv, yes, and almost 2 million Ukrainian tourists. That's why I think it's our common job. And we promote Kyiv in different markets, not only Ukrainian, and in Azerbaijan, Turkey, United Emirates, and Finland. We try to do different markets and to find out new tourists, because the top countries for visiting Kyiv, it's Israel, United States of America, Germany, Turkey, and countries of Persian Gulf. That's why we are trying to find out new markets, and we did our presentations with Maria Yuhnades, Natalia Sobola in different countries, and I think it was fruitful because we made after this presentation we had a lot of contracts, memorandums, different propositions from this side. That's why we are aimed, and our slogan is that Kyiv is safe, nice destination, and we would like to say that we are hospitable, because we do a lot of much to how to attract the tourists and how to be a hospitable city, because last year we adopted such a project like Academy of Hospitality. Volunteers trained and try to help tourists how to be in different situations and how to feel free and comfortable in Kyiv. So I think we are very nice destination. We are open for new markets, but we need a support at international levels, because we need to more maybe strengthen policy how to promote our destination. I said now about Kyiv, that we are good at different things, not only gastro, MICE and events, and we have a safe and comfortable place. That's why I think we have we have a chance, and we cope with all challenges. And I wish all of us to be strengthened with all these challenges, and to attract more tourists in these years. But I think, according to our statistics, maybe we will not have such statistics 1 million inbound tourists, but maybe not less than previous time.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you. We are happy that Kyiv is safe and nice. I thought that your slogan that everything starts in Kyiv. So for this period, you changed it for safe and nice, and it's a very good message, especially now. Thank you. Now I would like to move to the west of Ukraine. Western Ukraine is quite big territory, 8 different regions, 4 regions in Carpathians, and 4 between central Ukraine and western part. And today Diana Borisenko is representing the western part. She lives in Lviv. Lviv is city number 2 in Ukraine in terms of quantity of tourists going to Ukraine. Diana is a professional guide. She organizes beautiful excursions and tours around Lviv region, and represents a lot of small and medium business of Lviv tourism sector. Diana, thank you to be with us.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful meeting. Ivan, thank you for introducing me. I'm a current president of non-governmental organization called Lviv Tourism Alliance, which unites all representatives of tourism business, hotels, restaurants, travel agencies. And yes, I'm a freelance guide, though I am also employed by the incoming tour operator with the managing director, Natalia Soboleva. I've been regional manager for Arctur for many, many years. So I have 23 years in tourism experience, and I've traveled also around the world. And yes, my native town is Lviv, the city I love most of all. And I want to say that Lviv is considered to be the touristic capital of Ukraine. Sorry for Kyiv. It's like Barcelona in Spain. It's the city of festivals. Before the pandemic, we had around 100 different events in the city taking place every year. The most famous in Ukraine is now the Festival of Jazz Music, or Leopolis Jazz, on behalf of organizers and the city municipality. I invite all of you for the last week of June to this festival. Also, Mozart Music Festival taking place in Lviv in July. And as a president of this non-governmental organization, together with other participants, we are creating a new, absolutely crazy event. It's a huge international festival of regional cuisines. Western Ukraine is split into different parts. The part I live in is called Galicia. And Galicia is famous for its cuisine, called Galician cuisine. And now there are a lot of historians who work on this issue. And we're gonna prepare a new product, which will become a huge event for international and domestic visitors. Also, it will be an example for other regions of Ukraine. And Ukraine is an extensive country. It's a huge country from west to east. You know, we have more than 1,000 kilometers. So the war place is actually far away from Lviv. And there's no danger, no fear to come to Kyiv, to Lviv, and to the southern part of Ukraine. I want to tell you that we've been living under the war since annexation of the Crimea 2014, and the situation in the East was escalating from time to time and coming down. So we are simply used to that. So nothing really terrible, horrible is happening. And really in Ukraine, the situation is much more calm, that the media is creating all this around us. February in Lviv is always a low season. It's not only because of the pandemic, and the year 2021 was far better than 2020, certainly. In 2019, Lviv, having less than 1 million inhabitants, with about daily flights, 50 flights coming through our international airport from different parts of mostly Europe and also Asian countries. This year we had also Saudi Arabia. So we had an enormous quantity of Arabic customers, which created a new demand on a creation of the touristic product for them. So we've received in 2019 2.5 million visitors from different countries, and 2021 reached the figure of 60% of the amount of visitors before the pandemic. So I guess we have the same quantity in Lviv as in Kiev, you know. I can't believe. So we are developing the products. Organization works actively. On the 1st of January, I was the local guide to represent our city to investors from Qatar. I think people who are observing political situations, specifically investors who want to build a new 5-star hotel in the city, wouldn't have come to the country, which is under such a dangerous situation, unstable situation. So my message is absolutely optimistic, positive, based on real statistics of the city and communication to with the all stakeholders of tourism. Being the president, I carry the responsibility of what I say. And on behalf of all of them and on Lviv and our city municipality, which definitely has the best city mayor in Ukraine, who has an open mind for development of tourism. And I welcome all of you. Come to Lviv and Western Ukraine. We have Carpathians in 100 kilometers to the west from us. We have a big offer of regional destination, castles, spa resorts. A lot of new 5-star resorts are being built around Lviv and not only Lviv. So welcome to Lviv. Thank you for giving me the word. I'm quite excited. So maybe I'm jumping from one topic to the other. Follow the news on Lviv, on travel.lviv. It's the official website of information of events in Lviv of Lviv City Hall Department of Tourism. Thank you very much. I'm welcome to answer your questions.
Thank you, Diana. Yeah, maybe it seems that we're a bit going in contradiction in what is sound around Ukraine now in all mass media, but we didn't made a scenario how to present. This is the real feeling of our representatives from different regions. And now I would like to give floor to Yaroslava Susla from Chernihiv. Chernihiv is the northeast region in Ukraine on the border with Belarus. Yaroslava, are you here? Jurgen, if you could help me to
yes, I'm here.
To turn on Yaroslava on the screen. This is another region which is in mass media in a very the very close to the border with Belarus. Yaroslava, please give us the real information.
Good evening and good morning to everyone. Yes, of course, we have maybe the greatest neighborhoods that can imagine every country in the world. It's not only Belarus, but also the Russian Federation. It's approximately 70 kilometers from our city. So it's less in the kilometers than to Kiev. So of course, the situation with the international tourists is decreasing really now in our region because of some problems and maybe because of the transport isolation. It's really hard to come to Chernihiv, tourists must come firstly to Kiev and then come to us. And of course, the situation with the borders and this the low destination with the Chernihiv and our foreign neighbors, and maybe because of this scene, we have the last number of international tourists. As the director of Tourist Information Center, I really see the situation because for these months we have only one tourist, and it was from the Lithuanian. It's a colleague, he was a guide. So, and about the other countries, really its situation is decreasing. But the previous year and this year, we have really big boom with the tourism for the neighbor regions from Kyiv, Poltava, Kharkiv. So the situation with this part of tourism in Ukraine is not bad for us because we have such a boom. But still, if we talk about the Chernihiv, we feel that that part of season because it's like a seasonal tourism, and nowadays people come to Chernihiv when it is warmer, when it is some seasonal period from the autumn to summer, and nowadays we have no such a good percentage of tourists. But still, if we are talking about the safety, Chernihiv is really open for everyone. It is a safe, beautiful city which really transforming due to the policy of our local government. So we are really want to see a lot of tourists, especially international ones. So I think that the situation will be normalized with the borders. We are hoping for this, but the city still is hostile. We have lots of projects which are made to make city more safer because of the COVID pandemic. All hostels, hotels and restaurants are working. Everything is just in a normal situation in our region, even despite of the fact that we have such neighbors and some problems in the border. And of course, we have a little decrease in the tourists because a huge number from the Belarus come to Chernihiv just for shopping, and nowadays we didn't have such a number of tourists, and this problem is really obvious for the locals, but still everything is in a good way. So thank you for attention.
Thank you, Yaroslava. Yeah, we don't have with us Julia from Kharkiv. Kharkiv is eastern city, one of the biggest cities, 1.5 million. They have today a lot of meetings. The president and the National Board of Security and Defense have meeting in Kharkiv, and she is busy now with this delegation. I situate what Jürgen said in the beginning. I will tell you where I am. I'm in Odessa. Odessa is the Black Sea port, the city with 200 years history. And here in Odessa, we are quite seasonal destination. Most of our visitors come in summertime, in July and August. So our season is quite short. We try all the time to fight with this image of seasonal destination because Odessa is quite big city as well, more than 1 million inhabitants. And we are here, of course, have a lot of cultural events, business events, sport event, concerts, and so on. But image and reputation works, and it all our marketing and branding activities slightly can change the reputation which is built by tens of years. In principle, you heard from all of our team about our different regions, and situation from tour operators. To make a conclusion, I would like to say that Ukraine lives in this information fight last 8 years at least, from 2014 when Crimea was occupied by Russia. We have this problem for tourism sector because to promote country when all the time in all mass media there is information about war on the east, it's not easy task for us, for business and for government and for destination management organizations, but we live with this. And now of course it's a crisis when you open news and you read from all world media that already Russia invaded us, and at the same time you look in the window and you don't see anything there. And it's a problem for all. It's a problem not only for tourism sector, it's a problem for investments, it's a problem for IT companies, for all economy, because every such new need minimum 10 good news to cover somehow. But now all the information about Ukraine is negative. And today we meet here just to give you our hope that all will be resolved in a political way, that big politicians playing these geopolitical games will calm down, and Ukraine will not play this role, because for us, for our sector, it's a big trouble. And of course we don't want any war as any country in the world. And we hope that all will calm down, and in spring we will be prepared for the new season, and tourism will continue development, because all in last years was for tourism. The infrastructure was growing, new destinations were developed their products, new roads were built, new airlines came to Ukraine, new countries opened Ukraine for themselves, like Middle East countries, Saudi Arabia. And we want to develop new markets for our inbound market, and for this we are fully ready. Thank you. I think we're ready to answer questions. We still have with us our former Minister of Economy, and Andriy Dligac, and all our team to answer the questions.
Great, Ivan. So before we get into the question, I see some of you already raised your hand, and that's probably the easiest way to do this. And I'll give the microphone to Taleb in just a minute. He wanted to say something, but from my hand, I already wanted to thank all of you. This was a very comprehensive view of Ukraine, and it's definitely I've only been to Ukraine one time, and I've been to a region that wasn't mentioned because there's another political issue. This was before this problem was. I went to Donetsk when the airport was still new and open, and now it's destroyed. So there had been a completely different problem, I think, in the Donbas region, unrelated to this. But putting this all together, from the little I know in Ukraine, it seems to be a love-hate relationship with Russia. I have from friends I visited in the Donbas area at the time, know that Ukrainians were freely able to travel to Russia and vice versa on domestic passports. And even during all these tensions, there is a lot of exchange of all kinds of things, and also travel between your two countries. So of course, I don't know all the ins and outs. I can see it from the eyes of a foreigner. But I have to really agree from this little bit. I understand the message is confusing. Just for the record, we're in the United States, and the United States government has travel warnings against Indonesia. And so does the United States against 75% of the countries in the world because of COVID. But this is a serious message, because Americans are requested to leave Ukraine. So it's a serious situation. But then you find other major powers like France, where the president just came back from Russia and from Kiev, and saying there's not going to be any war, so don't worry about it that much. So it's a confusing message, and we cannot predict, of course, what is happening. And of course, if you see it from the inside, Ukraine is peaceful. I mean, once you're in Ukraine and there is no outside problem, yes, it's probably a very peaceful place to travel to. It's a beautiful place. I love the food. People like to have fun and party, and you have great music, and there's so much. There's so many beautiful regions in the Ukraine. If it wasn't for such a serious political situation, my recommendation would be travel there, experience it. But can we really say this right now for this very moment? Maybe we can say this tomorrow. But I don't really see the problem. Maybe I'm wrong, you can correct me. There have been, despite all the issues over the years since Ukraine separated from the Soviet Union, there has to be this hate or love-hate relationships. And people with Ukrainian passport and I traveled with friends with Ukrainian passports can enter Russia without visa, sometimes even without a passport. So it's a confusing message. And we just all pray and hope it'll be there. But I'm sure there's a lot of questions. And let's start with Taleb, and then we can go to Alexandra, our friend in Montenegro. But Taleb, you wanted to say something.
Thank you so much. I want to react a little bit to what I've heard, because what I've heard is very similar to what we live in here. I'm speaking to you from Jordan, the heart of the Middle East, from Amman. And we're always in the news. There is always a possibility of war here. That doesn't make us stop from working. That's what I heard from our Ukrainian friends. We can't surrender to media. We can't surrender to it. Because, first of all, there is a double crisis here. One is a media crisis, which is about the invasion and war possible in Ukraine. Second thing is crisis of COVID-19. Now the COVID-19 took its toll on everybody, including Ukraine. So I don't think you should delete everything and put everything on the back of a war threat. Other than Jürgen, contrary to what Jürgen said, I'd encourage people to go to Ukraine. Ukraine is a wonderful country. The best thing about Ukraine is its people. They're very welcoming. They will protect you. Any foreigner that goes to any place cannot be safe unless people there are very, very accommodating. And Ukrainian people are very warm. I know that firsthand. Now, our region is known for resilience. Resilience is very important. This is a man-made crisis. Both the COVID-19 and the possibility of war in Ukraine. These crises can be managed, and tourism will prevail eventually. I know that. I can see that in the eyes of those that spoke after you even. I can see that in speaking to you as well. I'd encourage people to go to Ukraine. The more foreigners, the more visitors go to Ukraine, the more peaceful the country becomes, because people will understand the value of that country. And nobody's going to wage war when there are so many visitors, so many foreigners in a place. So let's go there. Let's go to Ukraine all together. Thank you so much, Ivan.
And Taleb, thank you. And Taleb, this was such a worthwhile statement, because really we forget this in the Middle East, specifically in where you are in
Egypt.
Jordan, in Egypt, Israel. These are all countries that they have an overshadow cloud of a possible conflict, and we still travel there. So yes, it's definitely. I think this was a very worthwhile statement to make, and for people to understand really the scenario we're facing at this point. But Alexandra, for those that don't know us, she runs our Balkan chapter, and she has been involved in the top leadership of her country, Montenegro, in travel and tourism. And thanks for joining us, Alexandra. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. I always enjoy being with you guys. And I want to greet our friends from Ukraine and all WTN members. I'm sure that Ukraine will overcome this situation, and I really wish for them to rebrand the destination as the safe and secure in the shortest possible time, and I'm sure they will manage to do it. Actually, I would like to use this chance and to support what our colleagues from Ukraine were saying, that Ukraine is standing stable and people are having high spirit. And I'm saying this because lately, during this month and the month before, we have in Montenegro, we have so many interests from tourists from Ukraine. And we have airlines from Ukraine requesting slots here ready to travel again. So meaning that people are, as I said, they have high spirit and they are ready and happy to travel. And that's why they are interested in coming in Montenegro. And by the way, just for your information, that Ukraine is very important emissive market for Montenegro. Past couple of years, people from Ukraine started coming here, and our national tourism organization of Montenegro has Ukraine in its focus, definitely. But still, there are so many things to be improved regarding our cooperation, and especially regarding promotion. And just for your information as well, for example, last summer, we had, I think, around 60 flights per week from Ukraine, which is a lot. And we have contacts with so many tour operators from there, and definitely, you know, but still, as I said, promotion needs to be improved. But I'm looking forward to strengthen our tourism network and collaboration, and for all of you, I'm here and ready to assist in any way I can. So please feel free to contact me. Jürgen has my contacts, and that's all from my side. And I wish you all the best, and I'm sure that you will rebrand the destination and make it even better and stronger than it used to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alexander. And anyone, feel free to raise your hand. There are some comments in the chat box, but it's probably better if you just say it in person. I had some private messages here, and I wanted to clarify this in public so everyone understands this. No one got paid for this session. We're not charging for this session, and we're not an advocate of anyone and anything. We're working with the world in tourism. So this is not a paid commercial for anyone. This is an honest session to get an honest picture out to the world, just to make sure everyone understands this. Now, if, as I said, if there's any more questions.
I saw, if I may comment,
Yes.
First, I would like to thank Taleb Rifai for his support, because Taleb knows the market, knows our country, knows neighbor countries, and he is not only the best Secretary-General of UNWTO of all times. He also a great supporter for our country, and as I said in the beginning, he visited us several times, and now he joined the meeting and supported us again. Now, I also see the question about the sustainable development goals. How are they implemented in Ukraine? From Colin Bidwell. I have to say that when sustainable development goals were announced by the UN, at the same year, UNWTO supported the idea of sustainability, and the General Assembly announced the year 2017 as the year of sustainable tourism. At the same time, we developed the strategy, which I mentioned in my speech, the strategy of tourism development for 10 years until 2026, and all these goals were in this strategy integrated. And today our organization works in all these directions on a regular basis. So sustainability is one of our key priorities in all our activities. if I answer the question.
No, thank you very much. I don't know, Max, you left a comment. You want to get the microphone for a second? You have to unmute yourself if you do.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Yes.
Max Howard is actually a tourism
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak out a little bit. Of course, this was a priority for me to take part in this session. And as I wrote already a little bit in my message, I have very nice reminiscences of my time in 2011, by the way, not 2019, when I was serving in Ukraine as a tourism consultant to help prepare tourism institutions and organizations and tourist offices in Kharkiv and in Donetsk to get along and to be integrated in the European Championship in 2012. That's now 10 years ago, and time goes by very quickly. Times change, sometimes to the better, sometimes to the worse. I hope very much for Ukraine that it's going to be for the better in the next future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Max. And
thank you, Max. And you
Max,
are in New York, yes?
No, I'm in Germany. I'm in Germany.
Ah, Germany, sorry.
Actually, yes.
Germany.
Yes.
Yeah. We work with GIZ, the German organization. They support tourism in some regions, and yeah, Germany is important partner for us. I also have personal message here from Victoria Kiptenka. She represents the Kyiv National University, so academia also with us. Victoria, you want to say a few words?
Oh, wow. In fact, I'd like to actually thank to the family, I would say, who gathered and we discuss such an important issues for Ukrainian tourism, and from academia side to support very much efforts made by the team of the National Tourism Organization of Ukraine to the, let's say, real steps in order to bring tourism in Ukraine to the level of civilized way of development. Just to mention several initiatives already implemented with regards to statistics implementation, what Ms. Radova mentioned about the Academy of Hospitality. So this innovative approach and many others, in fact, the climate initiative and numerous others, they do really work in order to make the industry working in these uneasy conditions, but through the real support of professionals. And in academia, we are really happy to have, steps in our cooperation, realistic ones. And actually, with regards to sustainable development, I would say what was already mentioned with regards to the statistics system, it works a lot in order to get the more clear monitoring of the situation. So in these uneasy days, I would say we are doing some right steps to bring the industry, the sector, to the path which confirms we know what to do, and we have professionals who works in order to make our tourism safe, prospering, and hopefully enjoyed by everyone. Thanks to everyone, to your support and your attention to the issues we have.
Thank you.
And Taleb wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Thank you. I think we should turn this into a suggestion forum, because we all are here to support Ukraine. We know that. We're a big family here. We love Ukraine and we want to support it. Let's turn it into a suggestion forum. I want to start by suggesting one thing, Ivan. I think you can't attack the media per se. You can't beat the media, but you can join it by presenting positive stories about Ukraine, about people in Ukraine. I think it's the best way, because if you try to attack the media now, you will fail. And the fact is that the media is only reporting what's happening around it. And the media lives on negative news. But if you provide positive stories about Ukraine, people in Ukraine, more intensively, that would help a lot. I think positive stories should be about people, individuals, so people can attract themselves to them. That's my first suggestion. My second suggestion is you should use this time in Ukraine to present yourself, to prepare yourself for the future, because the future is promising. The future is yours, without doubt. War or no war. I don't think there will be any war. I doubt it. But even if there is, you should prepare yourself for days to come. And I think that this is a time where we could train our people and prepare them for the better. You know, Egypt has a very good record in resilience. Every time they come out of a crisis, they rebound themselves again. And the crises are all man-made crises. These are all man-made crises. So they can be chosen, sorted out by men. These are my two suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Taleb. And I wanted to put someone on the spot here. Maybe she doesn't want to, but a big market, of course, are destination weddings. We're not talking about immediately, but I wanted to know really a little bit more about the possibilities in Ukraine. And we have Nancy Bartley with us. She runs actually our destination wedding and honeymoon travel group here. You want to say something and ask something, Nancy? I put you on the spotlight, so you don't have a choice. She's on the East Coast in the US. I always forget Philadelphia or Washington, around that area.
Good.
Please unmute yourself.
You have to unmute yourself, Nancy.
Sorry. I would like to ask a question. So I'm here in the US, correct? And it's regarding the media. You know, what is coming out is, I'm sure, not, what is the reality like in Kiev right now? What is the reality? Is what you're seeing on CNN really happening, or is that blown out of proportion? Is it all fake?
Marina,
you shouldn't see CNN. You shouldn't see CNN. You shouldn't.
Marina, can you go?
The...
Can you go with the camera to the window?
Yes, yes, please do.
No, actually, nothing happens.
Almost, it's a midnight, almost midnight. That's why I couldn't see. But if you come to Kiev, I will show you the best places, and you will feel free and comfortable here, because you shouldn't. We also have such mass media, some messages. But we are all, how it's well-educated people, and we should make a choice for us what we should offer to our tourists. That's why you shouldn't see CNN and other news, but you can just call me, and I will go through the Krishchatyk, and I will show you which are the best place in our city.
Oh, I was trying to be funny by saying CNN, because I know I would come to Kiev right now if we could. As a matter of fact, the last time I was in Jordan, we were told not to go because horrible things were going to happen. So, yeah.
Actually,
I'm calling from Jordan.
I love Jordan.
I
do love Jordan. And
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go with you to Kiev now.
Ivan,
Today.
if you don't mind, can I also give some comments to Nancy?
Yes, please, Maria. Maria, please.
Nancy, thank you for your very, let's say, real question.
Yeah.
The way it is. Let me answer you as a regular Ukrainian. As a million in my city, I'm based in Kiev and in other cities of Ukraine. We are okay. We are not panicked. Personally, me, I'm planning my winter vacation. I'm going to Lviv in a couple of days. I'm going to Carpathians. As a tour operator, I'm planning to attend travel exhibitions in Europe, as well as in United Arab Emirates, and maybe in Asia this year. As I end my speech, we're peaceful people. We are not panicked. We unfortunately get used to this kind of freaky situation with our neighbor for almost 8 years. But as a colleague from Montenegro mentioned before, Ukrainians live their lives as we do it with a smile, with an optimistic, nothing happens. Our streets and views are extremely beautiful, and we do hope that foreign tourists will see on their own eyes, because nothing can get you more reality than traveling. Personally, me, you know, I always love to say only traveling can save this sometimes crazy world. It's better to see once than hear millions of times on the media. That's the reality today.
Are you on LinkedIn? I'm going to connect with you on LinkedIn, because you just said what I always say. And if I could get on a plane right now and go to Kiev, I would.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We're waiting, Nancy. Thank you.
So if it's possible, I would like to add some words as well. And the life is as normal as it can be. And we really think about future tourism. At the moment, we are preparing for the medical forum that will take place in Odessa in a couple of weeks. After that, I personally plan to go on this farm trip to Western Ukraine to see new spa resorts and some medical institutions, because they are good places for after COVID treatments and recreation and so on. So we are really thinking
me also.
about
That's why we invite you, Nancy.
Yeah.
These are the kind of stories. These are the kind of stories that need to come out.
I'm going to hold all of you to it. I'm going to come there and visit every region I just learned about.
But Nancy, after all of this,
whole live videos our association will think about it, to do these live videos, to going along the streets, to show people, to show these glasses of champagne that we can drink in our main street, viewing Krishchatik and so on. And yeah, it's very important. Thank you for that. So it's really very important nowadays to show the world the life in our cities and what we do to develop future tourism.
I agree. I do agree.
These are exactly the kind of stories that need to come out. These are the kind of stories that need to come out now.
Actually, Mr. Sheremetyev has raised his hand. I want to give him the platform in just a second, but I wanted to, Nancy, I was hoping you was asking, what is there for honeymoon travel and destination wedding in Ukraine? So maybe if I can ask a question for you, maybe some of you guys in Ukraine could tell me, is this a destination if you get married or if you're on a honeymoon, can you come to Ukraine? Is that a good destination to visit? Just curious.
Of course, but there is a chance that you will divorce and choose another wife.
Yeah.
I love you. Yeah. Okay.
I was thinking of health tourism. Health tourism.
Okay, health tourism is good. But let's go to Mr. Pablo Sheremetyev. Thanks for your participation. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I'm hearing my fellow compatriots, Ukrainians, especially the ones who are in the tourist industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I fully understand you. I understand that it's a lifeblood for the country and for our industry and for your businesses. But let's be responsible here, okay? Now, CNN are not enemies. We have other enemies. Yeah. There are other channels or enemies. CNN is not an enemy. CNN, I would say, is a friendly channel, and what they say, they are not saying that Kiev is unsafe at the moment. What they say is historically unnatural, historically unprecedented concentration of troops around Ukraine, and we know that. What will happen to those troops, we don't know. So yes, there is a travel guidance from a couple of countries, including the US. I just heard it's Netherlands too, that advise their citizens to leave the country. Well, we have to understand that the US government is still seems to be under influence of what happened in Afghanistan, and we understand that perfectly. But also they may know something that we don't know. So look, let's be responsible, let's be balanced. The situation is as it is. The country is as it is, and as we all mentioned, and it was lovely to hear all of you from Lviv to Chernihiv, actually to Kharkiv, because we covered Kharkiv too. It's a beautiful country, but we have to take a long view. And at the moment, you know, I mean, let's not contradict the travel guidance of our partners, because these are our partners. These are the ones that help us to arm the country, to strengthen our defense. These are the ones that shed the light on what's going on our borders. And we have to be balanced and responsible and welcome everybody in a due time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. And this is definitely an important and a responsible statement, I think, to make. Ukraine is a beautiful country. It's a country worth visiting, but just give it a day or so, you know, and we see how the situation is emerging. And we're all hoping it will not come to anything more than just a threat, what many actually in the industry are saying. And not only in the industry, many in the world, including the media, is saying, but we don't know. You know, it's like all of a sudden you have an outburst in COVID and a new strain. You wait till you know what is really happening. But let's, on the COVID part, let's get away from all these war drums and war threats and war talk. How's the COVID situation based on travel and tourism? I read on some of the Ukrainian travel websites about travel insurance is necessary to enter the country. There are vaccine is not a must. Can you shed some lights? Well, what do you need to enter Ukraine if you wanted to come to Ukraine in regards to COVID and health?
Yeah, I think Maria or Natalia will give the best information.
I will be shortly with this information because basically it's same as in most countries during the pandemic times. Of course, to enter Ukraine, you should provide a document which confirms 1 or 2 doses or international certificate of vaccination. Of course, with the vaccine approved the World Health Organization. And yes, you should have an insurance which can be issued by your local companies, which covers COVID treatment and observation in case if you get this in Ukraine. So basically, lots of countries has such rules at the moment.
Now, there's some confusion, and this goes a little bit beyond Ukraine, but I'm wondering where Ukraine stood. I personally got back from Europe. I was in Germany and in Greece, and with my clear US clear vaccination record, many in Europe really couldn't read it, because when you scan it, it doesn't go anywhere. So most of them that go along with this, when they say, okay, you carry an American passport and or an American driver's license, you have an American vaccine card. But then after I switched to a European vaccine certificate, what I was able to get in Germany, I had no more problems. It's all coordinated. When you go to Greece, it's the same app, the same formula. Is Ukraine, for not being an EU country directly, linked to this system or linked to any other systems, or you accept any type of certificate? How easy would it be for a foreigner in Ukraine to travel around and document that they're vaccinated in case that is a requirement to show?
The main is that vaccine is approved by the World Health Organization, and this certificate should be international, at least in English language. That is something that you should confirm when crossing the state border, aside, as I said, from the insurance which covered COVID treatment and observation. That is the point. Okay. Of course, it sometimes depends case by case, but in general, I never heard about any issues with certificates dedicated from US or any European country. It should be approved by WHO. That's the point.
But of course, there are many different certificates, and this is the confusion we have worldwide, that countries don't know what is a valid certificate, what is not. If you see our paper certificate here from Hawaii, in Europe with the different type of bureaucratic sense, no one would say that is, probably most people would say this is not real. You know, the way it looks.
I think this is something that, let's say we are too not skilled at the moment at this pandemic rules and requirements. I mean, all the country, and we need some time to get used to this, to see all the forms, all the certificates that are now available from different countries. But in general, the rules are, as I mentioned before.
Wonderful. I don't see any more hands, so I give you a last chance. We're over time, but I think it's well worth to be over time, because this is a very hot topic, an interesting topic, and I think we were able to shed a lot of light to what we wanted to discuss. And but Taleb wanted to say something. Go ahead, Taleb.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say that Ukraine is not European, but Europe is not doing that well as well in coordinating countries together. You have 4 systems in Europe alone, the European Union. One system is blockade, complete blockage. The second system is one of quarantine. The third system is vaccination. And the fourth system is testing upon arrival, 72 hours or on the borders. So it is up to many governments to coordinate their act together. I don't think it's fair for Ukraine now to be singled out amongst the European group to be told that this is right or wrong. I think Ukraine should go about this thing by coordinating its position with other countries in the region, especially those that have direct connections with airline connections or are potential markets. I believe that's a good suggestion, but not to criticize what Ukraine is doing now with regard to COVID, because COVID is responsible for most of the drop in the arrivals, not the threats of war. I want to agree also with the minister saying CNN is not our enemy. CNN can produce to us some stories that are good for Ukraine. So please don't cut the lines with the international media. Please don't do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Taleb.
Thank you.
And of course, my question was not directed that Ukraine is doing anything right or wrong. My concern is that globally, things are not coordinated. It's the same here in the US. I'm sure if you come with the Ukrainian certificate, no one would know what to do with it. So it's the whole world has to work together. Like we had everyone or many people still have this yellow international vaccine certificate. Why not continue using this and also offer it in digital form on a global platform? Everyone knows how it looks like, how it is, but no one is using it anymore. It's just an idea, but I guess we cannot.
Let's hope that now after Omicron pandemic will slow down and we will recover, rebuild travel as it was before.
I hope so.
Thank you very much, and I will give Ivan the last word, but I wanted to thank everyone for attending here today live, everyone who's watching us on our various platforms. Thank you for watching us, and you can actually watch us again. We're going to show this every 2 hours for the next 24 hours, so you can see this live event, and you may see us now when you see it, but you really then see us later. This was the only live part, so what allowed questions if you were part of it. So if you're watching us now, it may say live, but it's not live. And yes, you can always go to WTN.travel, or you can always comment on our article and ask questions. And then, of course, we will see how we can get questions that are relevant to Ivan or to his team here, or to Taleb or anyone else who may want to respond to this. For those that are not a member of the World Tourism Network, specifically also in Ukraine, I'd like to invite everyone to join us. You just go to WTN.travel and click on join, and you become a member. You get a profile, people will find you. And of course, this will open the door to all our different networks and discussions, and we encourage everyone to do that. And if you wanted to watch this segment again in the future, you can go to our YouTube channels. Just click on the link you find on the WTN website and also on UNWTO News website and our partner publications, and you can be easily linked to our YouTube, or click on past events and you can find this too. And I hope we'll be able to do an update very soon and tell the world that everything is 100% okay now to come to Ukraine, and we're waiting for this, and we're ready when you are. But I wanted to give the last word to Ivan and also thank everyone who participated today. And I wish you well, and please be safe. And we're with you, we're watching you, and my appeal for listening to us. Come on, guys, Russia, Ukraine, you almost share the same blood, you have the same mentality. Get along, come on. Okay, Ivan, the last word is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Jürgen. One more time, I would like, last words as always, thank you words. So I would like, first of all, to thank WTN and personally you, Jürgen. Sometimes it seems to me that you are like Shiva and have 12 hands, and you do so many things in a parallel way. You are writing articles, you are publishing videos, and do conferences and participate in many global talkings. And I'm thankful to eTurbo News and WTN for to be for many years now global media, honest and free, actually, because in CNN we don't have chance to what Taleb proposed us, not to lose contact. We don't have contact. If you don't pay, you don't have contact. And with WTN we have chance to talk globally, and I think that all our participants from Ukraine are thankful to you that you gave the chance to talk to all. Secondly, I want to thank Taleb Rifai personally again for staying active, because I understand the level of responsibility of the Secretary-General in WTN when he had to travel 250 days a year or more, visiting all the countries, and he didn't have free time for himself and for his family, but he found always time to talk to us, to participate, to meet us in Madrid, to come to Kiev, and to support our ideas, whatever they were. So thank you, Taleb, for this and being today.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you.
I also want to thank all who took time and visited this late time for us, this meeting, for your interest and support of Ukraine. I fully understand what you feel and what you think about us, and maybe we look strange when you parallelly look TV and CNN like Nancy and hear us, but I promise that we are telling you only the truth, not trying to just to give you a nice impression. It's not a presentation of tour products. It's a true what we have today and what we pray for. The last, I want to thank all our Ukrainian colleagues. I would like to thank Pavlo Sheremeta and Andriy Dligach as our strategic thinkers, leaders. I always invite them to our meetings and to our strategic sessions, and they help us in many things to strategically put tourism in a frame of other sectors in the country. And all our tour operators and region administrations are very important partners for us, because Taleb said once that for to be in tourism, we have to sound all together in like a team, and we have this family of tourism in our country, and I'm thankful to all regions and all our partners. So
thank you, Ivan.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ivan.
Thank you, guys. How do you say goodbye or good evening in Russian or in Ukrainian?
You may say good night. Спокойной ночи.
Good night.
На добраніч. In Ukraine we say на добраніч.
Na dobranish, and aloha from Hawaii, and we talk to you soon.
It is also good to say budmo hey. That means that be healthy, be happy, be strong.
Taleb, you remember you learned how to say budmo? Budmo,
yes,
hey. I have a video with you.
Hey, yes, I remember that, Ivan. I remember that. Of course.
We have to say Slava Ukraini. Героям слава. That's what we say. That's our slogan. Slava Ukraini!
All right.
Героям слава.
Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Take care.
See you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.